Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of the educators joining us from all around the world. And welcome to session 8 of International Educators Bootcamp. With me, as always, I have my amazing colleague, Ms. Shruti Khare. Hi, Ms. Shruti.
Yeah, hey Vivek. Hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Greetings from the STEMpedia team to all our educators. Today we have Miss Sally with us, who have joined us from the Africa, and she is the CEO of the Edu Store. I'll be soon introducing her to all of you. So thank you so very much to all our educators for joining today's session, which is the eighth session of this boot camp.
Uh, Thank you so much, Miss Sally, for tuning in. And as my colleague, Ms. Shruti, just mentioned that we will be coming to her introduction, and she will be also enlightening us with her words and motivating us to learn these latest technological skills in the education. So thank you so much, Miss Sally, for tuning in. By the time we start our session, I request all of you to please scan the QR code that is there in front of your screen, as well as scan the QR code to download the latest version of PictoBlox in your device. So as I always say, you have to fill the attendance form to secure your participation certificate of this International Educators Bootcamp. We will be starting the session very shortly. Till the time, I request all of you to please ask your colleagues, your fellow educators to join us live on the YouTube channel. We will be starting the session very shortly. Till the time, I request all of you to scan the QR code that is there in front of your screen to mark your attendance and to download the latest version of PictoBlox application.
We have so
We'll
many people who are joining from Africa as well. So thank you so much, all the educators who are joining us with this eighth session of the boot camp. So we really hope that today's attendance will go more than what we are expecting, because you all have been engaged with us since last session. And today's session is also the interconnected with the previous session. So please tell your fellow educators to join this session as early as possible so that we could start on time. Meanwhile, as Vivek mentioned, if you haven't downloaded the PictoBlogs latest application, latest version of the PictoBlogs, then please download it by scanning the QR code. The attendance form link is already available on your chat box, even on your screen as the QR code already visible. So please scan the QR code to fill out the attendance session form.
Right. But I just want to mention that we are just 2 days behind the closing ceremony. So me, Ms. Shruti, and our team, the bootcamp organization team, we have been working very hard for the closing ceremony, and it's going to be a bomb because we will be talking about how exactly these skills will be empowering you to empower the young minds and what is next. So I'm very excited, and I hope you all are too, because the closing ceremony is something that you should all attend, because in that ceremony we will be introducing you to some new upcoming updates of the PictoBlox application, as well as the upcoming updates of the bootcamp as well. So it's going to be very, very exciting. And we will be talking a lot about the um, upcoming events by STEMpedia and its national and international partners. So I think, Ms. Shruti, it is a good time to start the session. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure, Vivek. Thank you so very much to all our educators who are joining from all around the globe. We have people from most of the countries we have targeted. So thank you so very much, each one of you, for joining the session live, and for like taking the recorded sessions as well, and for completing the assignments, for completing the quizzes. Thank you so much for your dedication, your collaboration with us, for your support, which is something which is motivating each one of us day by day to work hard for these kind of bootcamp learnings. So, my hearty welcome to each one of you, our guest, our today's guest. I would like to welcome to each one of our educator. This is Shruti Khare, an education program manager at STEMpedia, welcoming you all to this eighth session of the boot camp. So today, as I said, this is the eighth session of the boot camp, which is on hand pose classification. We hope that you all are very excited for this eighth session of the boot camp. We will be coming up with a lot of assignment activities where we all will be doing the all the assignments in a fun and engaging way. During the last session, last seven session, you have submitted the assignments to us. You have been asked a lot of your queries. Thank you so very much for that. And this is something, as I said, this is something which motivates us for doing our level best. So thank you so much, educators, for your dedication and support in this boot camp. We would like to request to all our educators who haven't done their assignments, please do it right away and submit your assignments as early as possible to us. We are very close to the closing ceremony of this boot camp. So this closing ceremony will not be the closing ceremony. This will be a closing ceremony of this boot camp. But the closing ceremony will be for like we'll be having the announcements for the upcoming exciting events as well. So stay tuned with us, like you always does. So thank you so much, educators. As I said, that this whole boot camp is designed for our teachers, our STEM instructors, STEM educators from all around the globe. We have been conducting these kind of boot camps from past 2 years. And now this is the third edition of the boot camp. Till now, we have reached 15,000 educators from 80 plus countries. We are really honored that today Miss Kim has joined us as our expert guest to share her expertise, her journey with us on these technologies in the education where she worked in. She will be sharing all her expertise with you to motivate all of us with by having these learnings, by doing these, like we have to do these learnings with some motivation. So she'll be the one who will be motivating us, who will be sharing her motivational thoughts, inspiring thoughts with us. So I'll be soon introducing all of you to her. Before I'll be getting into the introduction with the expert guest session, I'll take a moment to share the major prime objectives of this bootcamp. So, our first objective of this bootcamp is to educate and empower our educators on these learnings, which is on Python, artificial intelligence, coding, which is all of them under 21st century skills. Secondly, we will be providing an experience of hands-on learning to each one of our educator on these latest technologies. Moving further, we will be giving each and every educator the confident. We will be exposing them to talk about these skills to all these students who have who are in connected with all these educators. So we will be making them confident to talk about these skills. Last but not the least, we will be providing each one of the educator an exposure to be an ambassador of Python and artificial intelligence learning. So these are some prime objectives which I have shared with you. Moving further, I would like to take a moment to thank our collaborators, our partners, our supporters who have been supporting us with this boot camp. They are supporting us in this year of boot camp as well. Thank you so very much, Art Park, Atal Innovation Mission, Niti Aayog, All India Educators Forum, American India Foundation, SRF Foundation, Bharti India Foundation, Learning Link Foundation, GUSEC, LearnHill, Tata Classes, Invented Education, EDEC, Leadership for Equity, Codever 5.0 International for supporting for supporting us with this boot camp, for engaging your associated educators with us. We will be empowering each one of our educator to transform their learning to their associated students so that they can also compete at international level competitions, and they can also talk about these 21st century skills. And I felt like when I talk about international level competitions, so you have the example in front of you, which is Codever 5.0 International. So thank you so much, all our partners, for us like engaging your associated educators. We have our partners from the international also. So I would like to thank our international partners, CKBS Ghana, AI Zazari Algeria, Nima Academy Nepal, Pratasi Junior Indonesia, Really EduTech South Korea, Code Kiddo Indonesia, Shaguf Egypt, Unique World Robotics UAE, BSEC Nigeria, ZTech Foundation Nigeria, IoT Kids Iraq, Edu Store South Africa, SMJK Gate Hava Malaysia, EgTech UK, Idiomatica Singapore, last but not the least, Robotona Jordan. Thank you so very much to all our collaborators, our partners, for engaging your associated educators with us. We have today our guest who is also from our prestigious partner, which is EduStore South Africa. So I would like to take a moment to introduce today's expert guest to all of you. So thank you so very much. I would like to welcome Miss Sally Kemangu, who is the CEO of EduStore South Africa, an awardee of Global Women Leader by having like 2+ decades of experience. She is popularly known as African STEM Queen in Africa. So a hearty welcome and a huge thank you to Ms. Kim for joining this session and gracing this occasion with your presence. So now I would like to invite Ms. Kim for sharing her journey with us to motivate our educators, to empower our educators by sharing your journey with all of us. So over to you, Ms. Kim. Thank you so much for joining this session again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. Shruti. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, STEMpedia and all the partners. And a big, big thank you to educators who have risen to the occasion and decided we have to embrace this. We need to learn this. This is quite exciting. It has been a journey, and obviously we got into coding and robotics pretty early. I think we've been in it. We started 2014. It was pretty new in Africa, and at some point we felt like we were talking to ourselves. And obviously we had to learn and make a lot of mistakes. And you don't stop learning, you keep going. The most beautiful thing is the impact you see on the ground every day, the children you inspire, the educators, the change you make. And when I see some kids coming, it has been 7 or 8 years later, and they tell me, I changed on my career inspirations. You told me about this. I didn't know anything about programming. And of course, educators, we don't just train coding and robotics expecting everyone to get into tech. No, we look at the change that brings, a holistic human being, getting your soft skills. You learn to collaborate. You learn critical thinking, problem solving, communication. That is my biggest win. It's what I see every day as I work with youth across the continent. So I have had the privilege of working with marginalized communities. And what has been pretty a game changer is when you realize this starts with a mindset shift. This starts with us embracing change, just embracing change. And change is the only constant we have in life. It's going to be there. We have to learn to reinvent ourselves every day. And then, of course, just getting to know it can be done. Here I am in Africa. Some of our villages, there's no electricity, there's no internet. And guess what? We still introduce coding and robotics. You might want to ask me, how do you do that? We've learned how to work on a shoestring budget. We've learned how to work with recycled materials. We've learned that with limited budgets, kids can still learn. And obviously within COVID, that was another learning curve when we had to make do with very little. We have 86% smartphone penetration within the continent of Africa. That means literally every other household has a smartphone. And that has been one of the greatest tools we've used. Within COVID, we used STEMpedia's apps, which were just game changer. We were running projects with kids in the village, and those apps we sent to teachers, and some of them we worked in, actually not just in the villages, but in the slums. In the slums where you're expecting all sorts of things to be happening. But guess what? We still had to make sure that learning continues. So we downloaded those apps from STEMpedia. We shared widely with our educators, and learning continued. And a lot of them, especially educators, they have started setting up their own coding and robotics centers, which is quite exciting. So I'm just going to go quickly into my presentation before Shruti kicks me out. I love my voice and I love talking to educators. I do a lot of training educators across the continent, and I love it, especially when we get into the villages where you find people thinking there's no hope. What can we do? We obviously know the challenges. We have some countries with no feeding programs. So we have kids that you want to teach and they're not getting a meal, and they're not coming from homes where they've eaten a meal. But we just learn to be resilient. We learn to be innovative. We have to train even when we don't have laptops, even when the internet is a challenge. So how do we do this? And how do we ensure as educators? I loved it when I was crowned. I was actually crowned the Queen of Africa STEM Queen by the Minister of Education in Zanzibar. And yes, sorry, I'm not wearing my crown. Next time I'll make sure I have my crown. And this is our crown. It's not my crown alone. It's a crown we have to share as educators. I've been so much inspired by STEMpedia. I follow you. I mean, we could be two worlds apart, but with technology, we network, we collaborate. I come back and ask, how do you do this? Can you help me with this and that? Shortage of resources, sometimes curriculum design. We are working with different age groups. How do you get that done? So let's quickly look at 3 strategies. I'll talk about what has worked within our sector and maybe what you try to implement within the space you are in and the children you work with. One thing that you always have to be aware of as educators, there's no one size fits all, especially in the tech space. We try our best and treat every child as unique. That's a human being, leave alone every school, leave alone every country, but every child. And the most important thing that we have to do is we stoop to their level, we listen to them. That's what they want most. So first and most important, we create an enabling environment. Kids feel our energy. If they know we love them, we mean well, we want them to learn, they're going to be very easy and quick to train. So comprehensive training, that's critical. So as educators, we need to know lifelong learning. It's not a once-off. It's not about what you learned in college. It is something that has to continuously be done. And this is why I'm so excited with STEMpedia launching this virtual platform that educators from across the world are able to dive in and learn. So how do we ensure that the comprehensive training is being done? If you embrace digital platforms, you'll find, especially since COVID, there are so many free programs. STEMpedia offers a lot of workshops for teachers. Make sure you're collaborating with them. Join the webinars, their monthly webinars. There's even just following their social media platforms. There's a lot to learn. And just getting to know what are the best practices. So it would be very difficult for you to teach something that you're not very well equipped on. However, don't you panic. Don't think that you need to have a degree in software engineering for you to teach coding and robotics. No. You actually just need to be it's just a mindset shift. You just need to be teachable. You just need to be willing to learn and unlearn. Because yes, some of what I was taught when I was going through school does not matter anymore. It's not valid. Some of the practices, what our teachers taught us, what we are teaching some of the kids in class right now may not be valid in the next 1 to 2 years. So for you to get the best practices, you have to embrace 21st century skills. And what does that mean? What are the methodologies of embracing 21st century skills? So retraining yourself is critical so that you get to know, how do I do my lesson plans? How do I customize a curriculum? I do a lot of consultancy with curriculum departments across Sub-Saharan Africa. And sometimes we get into those meetings and I go like, yeah, but Tanzania has already done this. So why are we seeking to work on something fresh? Why can't we look at the best practice from that? So in this space, collaboration is critical. And this is the environment STEMpedia has created. It is quite exciting to hear Shruti mentioning all the other organizations that you're working with. And that's what we need to do. Let's leverage on that. Let's stop reinventing the wheel constantly. Let's just be willing to learn. Ask your next door teacher. Ask the next door teacher. I passed by your class. The students were so excited. How exactly do you deliver that class? Can you help me? Let's try. If we can collaborate as educators, we can make it fun and super easy. Then, of course, I will mention my very favorite when it comes to STEAM education, project-based learning. Try your best, introduce project-based learning within your classroom. It's not easy. I understand the challenges we face. Sometimes I've seen some countries where we have a school with 4,000 children and 50 teachers. So there's obviously no learning that goes on there. So how do you introduce project-based learning? This is when teachers constantly will learn to be innovative, educators. Project-based learning introduces peer-to-peer teaching, which is just brilliant. It's a very brilliant way of making sure kids are learning from each other. So we do a lot of that. It doesn't matter, the class has 100 kids, we put them in groups of 10, then you know you're managing groups of 10. So when you leave them with a project, like I want you guys to build this robot, I want you guys to code and program it. And I want, before you start, 10 of you assign each other a task. There has to be a project manager, there has to be a supervisor, there has to be somebody who is researching, and kids love that. So making children own their experience, the journey, learner-centered education, that's what we're talking about when we talk about 21st century skills. Kids don't want chalk and board anymore. It's boring, even as we don't want that, right? But when you engage people in a conversation, they'll be keen to learn, they will listen. So training a trainer, kids love it. I'm sure you've seen it as educators when you get to class and you ask a question and you say, can one of you come and show us how you did it? They love that. And right there, you're boosting their self-confidence. They get on the chalk and board, or they want to explain to the other students. They could be doing it in a wrong way, but you've given them the platform, the audience. And that is where we're very careful with right and wrong answer. It is okay for you to be wrong. That was not my education. We were not allowed to make mistakes when you're going through schools. But with coding and robotics, what we're not allowed not to do is to try. You have to try. So I think one of the key things working with educators, and I would encourage you please to ask questions because I'm just about to finish. I'd like us to engage and get to know your views. What would you like us to help you with? What are your struggles? What are your frustrations? How can we keep the conversation going and we are addressing the critical issues you're dealing with? We're talking about, so continuous learning, that has to be ongoing. It's one of the things I love emphasizing. This is my third point to educators. Do not compete with your students. These children have a chip in their brain. Look at Vivek and Shruti. They could be in their 20s and they're here teaching us. Look at me and my gray hair. And obviously they're smarter than I. We actually work with from the age of 5 years. And in 2-3 months' time, it takes them like a week or less to transition from scratch coding to Python. To them, it's fun. It's a game. They don't have the inhibitions we have as adults. It's much easier to learn when you're young. So one of the things I see the barriers when we do a lot of bootcamps with educators, and the first thing we did that was a big mistake was when we trained teachers and children at the same time. That just literally backfired on my face. It is a mistake that I have I'll never repeat this mistake again, because the kids were so fast and then they're intimidating the teachers. So it's a whole topic now to start encouraging teachers. Don't get intimidated by these children. No, yours is to enable them. Actually, it is nice, learn from them. So obviously kids are kids, because the teachers get worried, but they won't listen to me when I'm in class again. They just look at me like this teacher who doesn't know anything. So allowing yourself to be vulnerable, owning up to, I don't know. It is okay. We shouldn't be expected to learn and to know everything. This is new to literally everyone, especially in Global South. Currently, we have a shift where every country is transitioning to, the minister or the president just gets on stage and announces, we have introduced coding and robotics. Teachers are now trained. There's no curriculum for them. It's literally go figure. So why won't you make a lot of mistakes? It might take us another 4 to 5 years, especially in Africa, to say we have systems in place. We're smart now and we know what we're doing. It's plug and play. So let's be patient and kind with ourselves. Let's embrace learning. Let's just own up to it is okay to make mistakes. What is not okay is not to try. And my last statement is coding, robotics, artificial intelligence broadens our horizons and exposes us to a world of opportunities. You can create that job. You can advance your job. You can make your job better by just embracing technology. Thank you. I'm ready for questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Sally. And we have received a lot of queries related to the sharing which you have shared just now. Thank you so very much for your amazing insights, the inspiring insights, which ultimately resolves the educators' issues also on how to engage with these students, how to motivate our students to learn these skills. And this ultimately resolves our issue also to how to motivate our educators. So ultimately you helped us and you motivated our educators for learning these skills. So thank you so very much. We have received a few queries and a lot of people are appreciating you for sharing your insights in the comment box. Some of them are asking like how we motivate our students who are not interested to learn these skills. So how to motivate them if they don't want to learn? So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. A very good question. And this gets us back to there's no one size fits all. So you have to create first an enabling environment. I've been in workshops where we were doing a boot camp and I get into this session and kids are not looking at me in the eyes. Of course, they don't know me. It's actually a different country. I don't even speak the local languages there. And I just asked them 5-10 minutes. I'm trying to make it fun. I'm trying to engage with them. And I asked them, have you eaten? No, you've not had breakfast yet, and it's 10 a.m. So look at that. How are we expected to teach kids who have not eaten? Right? So that is one. Two, how can we make it fun? We do a lot of what we call instant challenges. I'm sure, Shruti, you know them. I'd love to drop some of them for you. These are little games that takes like 3 to 5 minutes. Kids want to have fun, especially today's kids. And when fun, they have this concept of holding robotics. This is so science, this is engineering, this is math, this is difficult. Then you have to look for ways of making the class fun. warm it up. Then, of course, project-based learning is a game changer because kids are very, very competitive. So they don't want to see I'm not in that group of 5 to 10 kids. They also like leadership. So when you tell them, within this group of 10, can we first select the president? So that starts the campaign. Who's going to be the president? Who's going to be the minister of finance? Who's going to be the minister of project getting done? So come up with fancy little ways of making sure, first, if kids are not laughing, if kids are not looking at you, if kids are not excited to learn, it'll be very difficult for you to win them. So we have what we call instant challenges. I'll drop on the group forum. I'll share with Shruti, or you can get on our website, Destination Imagination. That is our website for training, destinationimagination.org, and just search instant challenges. You can also create so many different fun instant challenges as an educator, and I've seen some as well on Pinterest. So you've got to make it fun. And obviously, we introduce coding through robotics, which kids want to build. So usually our first lesson is, we just put a robot on the table. Can you build this robot? Everybody is going to hold and touch. So making sure hands-on activities, let them touch and feel. We don't want to be seated and you're telling us how to. We want to do. So where you're working with scarcity of resources, maybe for 5 kids, it's 1 laptop. Get them engaged in something. And as well, using these apps, like STEMpedia has very interactive apps, get them on that. So there are many different ways. Sometimes we introduce with a dance. We say, let's start with singing. Can everybody stand up? You've got to warm up the class before the session starts. And that goes even for educators. We train a lot of teachers, adults, even mature teachers my age, who, as we are rigid, we're always like, what are you telling me? I need to retire. So you've got to engage, get to their level, speak their mother tongue, and talk their language. If you're working with teenagers, you've got to behave like a teenager. That's when we actually go to class in jeans. Anyway, I respect different customs and cultures, but it's literally just try to understand that child, create an enabling environment, make sure they're happy. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps, and people are thanking for the sharing which has been made from you. One of one more question I can take from the comment section, which I'm feeling like. So how do you deal with the ownership of the final product from a project when kids worked together as a team?
Love this. So we have trained more than 10,000 children, literally on project-based. We actually do 5, maximum 7 kids in a group. So guess what we do? We advance it to teaching them what is an IP, especially where you're doing high school and university level. They want to own the project. So what they do is they create a company. Of course, especially kids, high school, they'll come up with a company name. It doesn't mean it to be legally registered. But there again, you're introducing entrepreneurship. We need our children to be creators and solution seekers. We need them to stop being consumers of content. We need them to be innovative. So when you create that thing of you owning this, you're a group of 5 or 10 kids, we get to an extent where we invite the community. We can invite the parents, the teachers, anybody, and we charge them. Come and see what we produced. We were working on this project for 2 to 3 months or 6 months, sometimes it's 1 year, see the end result. And this is their money. So they always have a finance minister. This is our money. This is what we've done with money. And then we partner with industry experts like banks. Banks, come and teach them finance literacy. Open a bank account for them. We have a team in Zanzibar, university students that have really, really progressed. Right now, we started with them 2021 within COVID. As we speak, they have started their own coding center. They have their own coding. It's actually the only coding and robotics center in Zanzibar. How awesome is that? So they've registered their own company, right? So it's literally you setting the foundation. They start to learn. Essentially, we're going to get into a world that we don't choose who to work with. So we might as well learn and teach kids when they're still young. collaboration, communication, problem solving, critical thinking. Those are very essential skills. How do you work with, you wouldn't get along with everyone, of course, they fight. They don't even finish the project before fighting, even 2-3 days, they're kids. But how do we solve conflict if you're not getting along? How do I ensure that John, Peter, and Mary, you keep time? So there's somebody in charge, just like our government has structures. You put policies in place, you come up with your governance. They love it. We have quite a number of kids. Our team that was supposed to go to USA this year, they created their own company. They went looking for funding with their own company. Yes, they're kids. It never got registered, but it was something. It's a starting point. Try that. I hope that helps.
Yeah, I think Dave, you have received your answer, and thank you so very much, Kim, for sharing your insights, for answering the queries of our audience. Like, all the educators are so excited, and all the educators are thanking you in the comment section to for engaging with them, and for sharing your motivational insights with them. Thank you so very much for joining today's session with us. Your session will definitely gonna empower our educators, motivate our educators for learning these skills, these technologies, and of course, like transferring these skills to their associated students as well. So thank you so much, Kim. So moving ahead, I would like to request my very own colleague, Mr. Vivek, to take this session forward, to take the today's session learning forward on hands-on classification. So over to you, Mr. Vivek. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shruti, and thank you so much, Ms. Sally, for joining this session. After this, 20 or 15 minutes of listening to you, that is now I know that why exactly you are known as African STEM Queen. So thank you so much for joining this session, and thank you so much for enlightening us. And we are pleased to have you as one of our valuable partners for this bootcamp. Thank you so much. Moving towards to the session learning, let's start the session by taking a recap of what we did in session 7, which was the previous session. So in previous session, I introduced you all to object detection and its functionalities in PictoBlox Python interface. With the help of those functionalities, we made an activity of AI Object Seeker. We also looked into the DIY project that was of object detection. So just the advanced version of AI Object Seeker. So I hope you all have submitted your assignments and you all have marked your attendance for that particular session. Moving to the attendance of this session, of session number 8, I have again shared the session link, the attendance link in the chat box. I request all of you to please mark your attendance because, as I always say in each and every session, marking your attendance will help you to secure your participation certificate of this International Educators Bootcamp. And trust me, I don't think any one of you would, not like to get this participation certificate because we are collaborating with so many partners and collaborators nationally as well as internationally. And it will be great to have that participation certificate in your bank. So I request all of you to scan the QR code or to click on the link shared in the live chat box or in the description box to mark your attendance. And once you're done marking your attendance, please give me a big thumbs up so that we can move ahead. I would appreciate a big thumbs up in the chat box if you have marked your attendance after filling in the attendance form. Perfect. All right. Moving ahead, let's start today's session, session 8 of International Educators Bootcamp. In this session, we will be learning about hand pose classification, basically hand detection that we did in previous session as well. So it's somewhat similar thing that we are doing today, just to revise and have a recap of the hand detection. With that, we will be making a very new and fun, engaging activity, which is going to be just a fruit hunt, a game that we all might have played when we were a little kid. So let's start up with this session. So these are the topics that we will be covering of in today's session. First will be hand detection and functions of hand detection. Let's take a look at the introduction to hand detection. So as we learned in the previous sessions, that hand detection is not just detecting the pinpoints of hand, but actually making out something that can be useful using those pinpoints. So I have talked about various applications that students have made in Codever 2022, 2021, and the earlier years of Codever as well. So in Codever, I have seen students making hand detection, hand pose classification, and hand detection, hand recognition projects by which they were able to make projects like sign language detection. They were able to make projects to use their hands to make a robot follow themselves. So, creativity and innovativeness, that is in everyone's brain as well as in their heart. All you have to do is just push it so that you will be able to exceed and learn more about these latest technology. As Miss Sally said, that we have to empower and we have to learn these skills ourselves so that we can empower the young minds. We can teach and motivate the young minds so that they can also have a good hold on to these latest technological skills. So hand detection is one of them, in which we track the hand position. These are the 20 main hand points, the 3D hand key points, and PictoBlox is using MediaPi model to detect hand and gestures. So as I mentioned, hand detection is basically just like pose detection. It is used to detect various hand poses. It is used to detect different parts of hands, used to detect 20 3D hand key points as the hand as per the detected hand, as you can see it on the image on the right hand side of my screen. So moving ahead, let's take a look at the functions that are there in hand detection extension. So we have already used some of these functions. The topmost function is analyze hand. So as the name suggests, analyze hand is a function by which we can analyze the hand from the camera or from the stage. Then we have is hand detected. So this function is used to check if the hand is detected. Then we can pass it on, and then if it is true, then we can run some statements under that. Then we have get hand position. So we can get the hand position using this particular function. With that, we have two functions to get the X and Y coordinates of the hand, stating hand X and hand Y to get the hand X and Y position. So let's say if I'm moving my hand, the X and Y position will be changed as well. So these are the functions. These are the functions that we have used previously only also, and we have been using these functions somewhat similar of these functions in the other extensions as well, like face detection, object detection. Such functions are also there in those extension too. All right, let's move on to the game that we will be making. So we are making a gesture fruit hunt game. So let's start up. I will be sharing my PictoBlox screen, and let's start up with the activity. All I have to do, open a new file in my PictoBlox. Sorry. Go back to the Python interface. And here my new file is. So first thing first that I have to do is I have to okay. So first thing first that I have to do, I have to delete the Toby sprite and get the monkey sprite as well as the Apple sprite on my stage. So let's choose Apple from the sprite library. And after that, let's choose monkey. So we can directly go in the animals section and choose monkey from here. Um, okay. I'm not able to find it. Okay, there you go. Monkey. So what we are going to do, we are just going to resize them. So as I have told you guys how to resize any sprite quickly is by using this sprite control panel, that this is what I usually call it. So all you have to do is resize it from here, make it 60. I think this is good. Oh, sorry, 60, this is good. And let's resize the apple same way. Let's make it 50. Apple should be a little smaller. So, or make it 45. Sorry. Yeah. So this is what we want. And after this, I have to add a backdrop. So of course, you can be as creative as you want to be. It is totally up to you. So I got this and I got the apple. Okay. Let's start up with the script of the monkey. So let's first understand what exactly do I want to do, right? Because then only I will be able to code my monkey. Okay. So what I want to do, I want the monkey to follow my hand, right? To follow my hand. So for this, I have to load in the hand detection extension. So that extension is hand, sorry, equals to posenet, not pose, hand equals to posenet. So this will load the hand detection or hand pose classification extension that we just talked about. After this, I want to turn on the video on the stage with transparency. So let's turn on the video with the hand.video function, turn it on, and let's give it transparency of 60, or you can do 70 also, it's up to you. Right. After this, we will enable the box. We want to see that if it is correctly detecting our hand or not. So let's enable the box. So hand dot enable box. And now I want you to tell me once you are done till this part, give me a thumbs up in the chat box. I want to change the costume from monkey, and how can I do that? All you have to do is choose another sprite, or if you want to change the costume, then you can go select monkey, go to costumes, and you can change the costumes that are there, or you can make your own costume, or you can edit the one which is already there. So it is totally up to you. So I request you to please give me a thumbs up once you're done with this part, then we can move ahead. Perfect. I'm getting quite a good number of thumbs up. Let's go ahead. After this, what I want to do, if the hand is detected, then I want to set the monkey's X and Y position to my hand's position. Right, that is what I want to do. But do I really want it? So either I can set the X and Y position, or I can just set the X position to move the monkey over here like this. But if you want it to jump, you can set the Y position also. So over the code that is there on the online course, we have set the X and Y position so that if you want, you can make the monkey jump and catch the fruit. But it is totally up to you. If you don't want it to jump, if you want it to stay there on the ground and then move, then you can only change the X position. That is what we need to do. So for this, what I will do, I will use the if condition. Let me just remove my video from here, guys. So if, now what I have to type, if hand dot is hand detected. If it is true, then all I want to do, sprite dot set X to the X of the hand, right? Or to get we have to get the hand position first. So what we have to do, hand dot get hand position. And in this case, if you remember, you can make it follow any position. So we have two parameters in this particular extension. One is the X and Y, which is 1 or 2. So let me note it down over here also. First parameter is 1, which denotes X, and 2, which denotes Y. Then we have second parameter in which we have to use any of these points that I talked about. So from 1 to 20. If you remember what this 1 to 20 is, let me show it on the PPT once again. This is what we want, these one. So the first parameter is 1 or 2, that means X or Y, and these. So if you want, you can make it follow your index finger or your middle finger or any finger, but it should be the top. For this particular activity, let's follow the index finger only. But in the code that is over there on the LMS, on the online course, we are following the middle finger so that it follows the middle of the hand. So it is up to you. As I mentioned, of course, you can anytime you can change the code and make it more innovative as you want to. The more you make the same code, the more you will understand that you can do that code in a better way or in such way that can be more exciting. So that is totally up to you, right? So what we can do, we can make it follow the index finger, which is the 0.8. So this is what we want to do. This was just for your understanding. Okay. After this, what I want to do, I want to check one more condition. If the particular sprite that I have, the monkey sprite, if it is touching the apple, then I want to play a sound. And that will be the chomp sound. So let's see, is the chomp sound over here loaded? Yeah, this one. I don't know if yeah, no, I will share the sound also. Okay. Can you hear the sound, Ms. Shruti?
Yeah, Vivek, I can hear.
The chomp sound.
Not right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect. All right. So all you have to do, if the sprite dot is touching, here we have to type apple. You have to note the apple spelling should be correct. Then we want sprite, dot play until done. And over here, we have to write chomp. You have to check out the spelling again. If you want to, you can check it out. Yeah. This is the one that we want to use. So yeah, chomp. Okay, perfect. Now I want to check these two conditions throughout the execution of the code, right? So what I will do, this is the first question of the day. If I want to check this whole condition, then what do you do? If I want to check these two conditions throughout the execution of the code, what should we do? Are we not creating while before if we using if? That is my question. What should I do? If the execution, I want the execution to take place throughout the running of the code, which thing I should do? Now I want to answer in the chat box. While true. Perfect. Perfect, Annie. Perfect. All we want, just type while true. Sorry. And make sure the indentation has to be correct again. So you have to correct the indentation so that it will run without any issue. So this is what we want to do. So basically, this is just the code of the particular spike. So let's check the code. I'm turning off my camera. I'm saving the code as a gesture fruit fund. Save the code. You can save it wherever you want to. And now let's check the code. So click on run. as I'm using an external camera, it might take some time for me to join my, collect my camera to the PictoBlox. So it is totally up to the PictoBlox application, as well as my external camera, of course. So you can see my hand is here, but is it detecting my hand? Is my sprite following my hand? The answer lies over here only. It is not. But why? This is a second question to all of the educators. And you have to tell me, why is it not following my hand? What is the reason behind it not following my hand? The educator who answer this question will be rewarded as the educator of the day. Analyze hand. Very good. Tatsiana, very good. Very good. Analyze hand. We are missing on that. Correct. And where it will come? Before the conditions. So hand dot analyze hand. Correct. Correct. Well done. So now let's test this code again. I will turn off my camera, run the code, and see if it is working or not. You see, even a single line of code, even a single column is missing, the code won't work. So you have to make sure everything should be correct. Indentation should be correct. That is when your code will be working perfectly fine. So you can see now it is following my index finger's X position. Now, wherever I take my hand, it is following, because we are not making it follow the Y position. Therefore, it is just following the X position. So I think that's very cool, right? But if you want it to jump, then you can also make it follow your Y position as well. So it is totally up to you. So yeah, till now my activity is working perfectly fine, which seems amazing. Let's turn off the camera. Yeah, okay, perfect. Now let's do one thing. Let's start with the code of the Apple sprite. This is one of the code that I want you to focus first and then start coding in your applications, because once you miss out something, the code won't work for the Apple sprite. Okay. What we want to do with the Apple sprite, let's understand that first. We want it to fall from this position, from any of the position, means starting of the stage, we want it to fall. And that is when we want it to fall a random position, random X position, not Y, because Apple doesn't fall from anywhere from the sky. It falls from the top, right? Just imagine it will fall from the top of the sky, right? If Apple is falling, it falls from the top. It's not popping out of anywhere and then falling. So to do that, I will make a function. In that function, I will create clones of my Apple sprite. So let's make a function. Let's start this activity. def fall, defining, def is defining a function named as fall. That is what this is. And in this function, what I will do, sprite dot create clone. So that will create a clone of my Apple sprite. Now, before creating the clone, it's my question to all of you. Should I hide the sprite, or should I shall I leave it just like this? Because if I leave it just like this, it will be here forever. And having an apple that is stuck on the stage forever is not user friendly, right? So whenever you are making games, you have to make sure games are user friendly. So we will just type sprite.hide to hide the sprite. The main sprite, the main apple will be hidden. The clones will be falling down. Okay. After creating the clone, we want it to show. So, sorry. Sprite.show. And after it is showing, we want to import random class. So just like we import time class, we are importing random class that you can do at the top also. So it's up to you. We are importing random class here. The reason why we are importing random class, so that we can make the clone of the apple sprite from for a random X position. Now let me explain this to you once again. This over here is my stage, right? So let me go on full screen so that you will be able to understand in a better way. This over here is my stage, as you can see. This is the X position. Okay, let me draw it again. This is the X position. I want it to fall from any of the X position. It can be from here. It can be from here. It can be from here. Any X position, right? Not the Y, because I want it to follow from the top only. I don't want it to pop out of any position, any Y position. So to do that, I'm using the random function or random. I'm calling the random class first, and then I'm using its function. So let's use the random function. So what we are doing, we will make a variable named as, let's say, number of times I wanted to fall, or, in a variable in which I'm putting the X value. Let's say, let's do that. So let's name it as X equals to random dot, all of the random functions will be here. So rand int. That will make us give a value here. So value will be 200 to 200, negative 200 to positive 200, because that is the value of the maximum value and the maximum value for both the sides of the X coordinates, right? And that we are putting inside the X variable here. And now we will use the sprite go to function to make it go on random X position. So sprite go to X and Y, in which X will be like this. And let's keep the Y position to be 155. Let's do that. Okay. And after this, all I want to do, I want to call this function first. And then I want to pass a while loop. Now, what we are doing in the while loop, if the apple is touching the monkey, I want to hide the sprite. I want to hide it, because we are already playing that chomp sound in the monkey sprite, but I want to hide it here. With that, I want to check one more condition. If apple is falling and touching the ground, I want to hide it that time also, right? I don't want apples to be collected here, right? It will disturb my user who will be playing my game. I don't want to do that. So for this, again, I will call a while true loop, in which I'm checking if sprite dot is touching monkey, is touching, sorry, monkey. Spelling has to be correct. Make sure if the monkey sprite M is capital, it should be capital here also. If it is touching monkey, then sprite dot height. Right. Same way, if sprite dot y, to get the y coordinates, if they are equal to minus 180, then I want again sprite to height. Sorry. In that, I can just call, well, in the while loop only, I will call the fall function every time, right? So this is what the code of the Apple sprite looks like. So let's check the Apple sprite code and let's see if it is working or not. Let's click on run. So my Apple sprites are not falling. They are all getting collected over here. Now, what could be the possible reason of this thing? They are all getting collected over here. The answer is there in these two lines. I already know. I made this mistake just to check how my educators are coping up with my classes. Now you have to tell me why it is not falling. The answer is in these two lines only. Is there a way to increase the speed of the fall? Um, yeah, you can. You can increase the speed of the fall. You can just import the time sleep module. You can use that and make it faster or lower. You never to told the Apple to change Y. We already did. We are we are telling it. It is changing it to 155. Somewhere close. Y coordinate is not changing. Y coordinate is there. X coordinate is also changing, but it is not falling. Why is that? Now I want answers in the chat box, everyone. Come on, come on. You did not change. I cannot see the. We haven't given the change in Y position. Okay. More answers. 155 is fixed. Y is constant. Y is constant. Y not defined. Perfect educators. You are very intelligent. Right. The Y over here is fixed. It is not making it go down. It is not making it go down and make it, fall. Right. That is what we want to do. We want to make it fall. So what should I do? In this case, I want to change the Y position of my apple to make it fall. And I can do that by doing that in the while loop using sprite dot change Y by minus 0.5. That also determines the speed. The more you put here, the more faster or slower it will fall. Okay, now let's test it out. Run the code. I know the cluster over here, we have to remove it. It's still not falling. It's still not falling. So let's remove this one from here. Let's add it here and here, because if these conditions are true, then only we should repeat it. And then let's run it. One apple is falling, but very slowly, very, very slowly. What should I do? Shall I make it -1 and then run it again? Okay, -1 is also very slow. -1.5. Yeah, -1.5 is, I think, a perfect height for now, right now. Okay, perfect. Let's stop the code. Now let's save. Let's copy this code. So copy this code. Delete or copy this part. Delete it. And sprite.hide. Let's run this. Let's see if the stage gets clear or not. Okay, it has it in these one. Okay, let's save the code and let's rerun the PictoBlox application so that we can get these unwanted apples removed. Or also what we can do, just change the Y position of monkey as per the hand position. And we can let the monkey eat all the apples. Okay, set Y. And over here also, it will be 2. All right, let's just run the monkey code just to clear the apple at the top. I have to turn off my video here, sorry. Perfect. So there are quite a lot. of monkeys here. So it will take us a good amount of time to clear it up. But you can clear it up. I think you got that idea that how to do it. So that's not a problem. Let's remove it. But you see, if I'm letting the monkey eat it, it is clearing up. So that's not a problem. Let's place our monkey back on its starting position. You can also code that as well to make it come back on its starting position. Let's do that too. Sprite dot go to x and y. X and y will be 7 comma minus 120. So when I run the code, it will go back here. Okay, let's run the whole code by clicking on run all. As I told you, the difference between run all and run button is once you click on run, it will only run the selected file. Once you click on run all, it will run all of the files that are there in your project files folder right over here. Okay, let's make it follow. It is eating and it is also making a chomp sound. Still, my apple are falling very slowly, right? They're falling very, very slowly. Let's change it, make it 5. Okay, let's try 5. Let it be, oh, sorry, I have to click on run all. Yeah. And now let's try it up. Okay, 5 is much better. Let's see if the apple touches the last part. Will it vanish? Yup, it vanishes. Perfect. That means that is also working. So in this way, you can see with the help of hand detection, I made a very fun activity of gesture fruit hunt. Same way, you can make it more creative. You can make it as innovative and creative as you want to, of course. It's all up to you. So what you can do is you can add more elements, like you can add one bad apple and one good apple. So if the monkey touches the bad apple, the monkey will say that you only have 4 more lives left. If you touch the bad apple again, it will say you have 3 more lives left. And after 5 times it touches the bad apple or it eats the bad apple, the monkey dies. You can make these games as innovative, as creative as you want to. It is all up to you. All of the ideas that are coming up in your mind, you can code that in PictoBlox application. Right. Anything that was coming in my mind, I just did it and I coded it over here. So you have to make sure that everything that you're testing, not every time it will come out the way that you want it. Every time I think, personally, I think every time getting errors are very good. Because getting errors, you will learn how to debug it with the help of either debugger that is there or with the help of your own mind, or either if you're missing out to something. Right. Okay, so that was the code of the game over here, which I think is clear to all of you. Let's move to the slides once again. So we are already done with this game. Now, all I want you to make a game of waste sorting system. So there is a waste sorting system game or waste sorting system, not a game exactly, that I created that is there on your DIY project. It's a very like a good example of what we just learned today. All you can do is you can make it more creative, more innovative as per your understanding. Okay. Once again, let's head back to the LMS and let's check out the course, the online course. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is, Vivek.
Perfect. Okay, so session 7 was already done. Now let's refresh the page and let's move to session number 8. So session number 8 is unlocked. Now all you have to do, go through each and every topic and mark it complete. Mark it complete, and it will take you to the next topic. That topic you have to mark complete. Then the activity, make sure you have to submit the activity also by pasting the video link, the YouTube video link, and after that you have to click on submit and then mark done. or mark complete. Then you can test out the DIY sorting system also. So the DIY sorting system SB3 file, you can download it from this link that is also embedded on your LMS or by scanning this QR code. So we are not providing the whole code over here because it's a very big code file. You can just, because there are many sprites. So all you can do is just scan the QR code or hit the download button. It will take you to the file. You are able to download the file. Okay, after this, testing out this particular DIY project, you can mark complete this as well. Now, make sure educators, we are only left with 2 more sessions, 2 more learning sessions, after which you will be having enough knowledge to work on your capstone projects. And then we will be having the closing ceremony and we will announce the top 10 performers of this International Educators Bootcamp. And you will also be able to get your participation certificates. How to get your participation certificates, how to get your badges, how to be a part of the top performers race, all that we will be covering in the upcoming closing ceremony, that is on 2nd of September at the same time, that is 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So I hope everything was clear on the online course, the LMS. And now let's move to the prizes and recognitions as always. So to get your participation certificate, you have to complete the course just as I showed you by marking complete each and every session. You have to fill the attendance and the feedback form of every session. This is how you will get your participation certificate. With that, you have to complete all of the assignments and get more than 60% in the final quiz to get your badge. So you will get a badge of AI, coding, sorry, Python and robotics certified educator. And you can post that badge on your LinkedIn profile and you will be considered as one of the AI, Python and robotics certified educator. So that is that for the badges and the certificate, the participation certificate. But if you want to be a part of the top performers, you have to complete all of these 3 criterias. That means you have to complete your assignments, you have to score more than 60% in your final quiz, and you have to submit your capstone project, will be the innovative project that you will be creating all by yourself by 11th of September. So that will be the last date to submit your capstone project. And in the closing ceremony, we will announce the date by when we will be announcing the top 10 performers of the International Educators Bootcamp. So I am requesting you to join us on the occasion of the closing ceremony, because we will be talking about the latest updates. We will be talking about the upcoming boot camps. We will be talking about the upcoming updates of the PictoBlox application, as well as we will be updating you about the prizing recognitions of this bootcamp as well. So the closing ceremony will be the one of the best ceremony of the International Education Bootcamp. All right. Thank you so much. Now I request you to please scan the QR code and fill in the feedback form. The feedback form link will be there in the chat box for all of you. So I request you to fill the feedback form. As I mentioned, you can only secure your participation certificate by filling the feedback and attendance form of every day.
Vivek, thank you so much. I think we have to express our gratitude to those educators as well, those who are, answering the queries of their fellow educators. They are actively participating in the groups as well, in the WhatsApp group, even in the Telegram group, to resolving their like their fellow educators' queries. So thank you so very much to all these educators who are actively participating in these boot camps. For the query section, Vivek, we have received couple of queries in the comment section. So if you can resolve those queries.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
checking into it. Sir, Apple is falling in a straight line. Apple will fall in a straight line only because that is what we have coded it, because we don't want it to wiggle around, right? So it will be falling in a straight line.
Rupali has asked Vivek, is it possible to collect the apple by monkey? How to set the code?
It is, I think, not to collect it because it will be the graphics that we have to create. But eating is what we have, used here because it is eating the apple. You can also use banana, of course. It's up to you. Creating clone didn't work with mine. You can share the code. You can share a screenshot. We will be more than happy to help you. My question about the next boot camp is well answered. Yes, definitely. We will be coming up with the next boot camp, and you have to just join the closing ceremony in which we will tell you all about the upcoming boot camp. And I'm telling you, me, Miss Shruti, and my entire team, we have been working day and night for this boot camp and for the upcoming boot camp as well. And it will be, you know, more exciting to all of you to join that one as well. Sorry, I meant not to fall in straight line. How to fix that? Nima ma'am, I didn't get your question. Code minus, if your code is not stopping, I request you to save the code and rerun the application.
Animeke is asking Vivek, how can you make a count as you can do in the blocks? Where
So
can
that
I
is a
find a
yeah,
list?
that's a very good question. That is not possible in the Python in this one because it is a block-based part. So we cannot count. Though, of course, we can make a counting variable to count it as every time the sprite touches the monkey sprite touches the apple or eats the apple, we can count it, but we won't be able to have that count number or the score on the stage. We have to do that verbally using the sprite say or using a for loop or using every time whenever it is touching the apple, the score should increase. And sprite should say that score. We can do that.
And I strongly believe, many of you will also believe on the same line that in the by using the block coding, it reduces our ability to think. So in this Python coding, we are able to brainstorm on the code. So the how to get the numbers, what to in which amount we have to take the numbers to set our code. So these
Right.
all things you have to, brainstorm, and based on the hit and try method, you have to follow for your code, and then you have to create your code.
Exactly. With that, I just want to mention one question from Miss Renu ma'am. Renu ma'am, all you have to do, you have to go in the settings, audio and video settings, and you have to just select your iPhone. That's it. That's what I do as well. So I have my MacBook camera, the default one, and then I have an iPhone camera. So I just select my iPhone as the option, and my iPhone will be connected with my PictoBlox. So this is how you can make your iPhone as your external camera. So I hope everyone is filling the feedback form.
Yeah, I would also like to highlight here that all the educators, please download the application also in your mobile. The PictoBlox application is also available. So if you are not able to, uh, utilize your laptop for block coding, etc., so you can use your phone also to explore PictoBlox. Python is not available, sort of, but the other features are available in that phone application. So please install from your Play Store or your Apple Store the PictoBlox application, and you can utilize it with your mobile phone as well. So please do that. We are continuously asking in this feedback form, if you have seen, I don't know if you remember this particular question or not, but we are continuously asking you your support to translate our content into your regional language. Are you interested to take this initiation with us to translate the picture blogs curriculum into your regional languages? So if you are interested, please do hit the yes option in the feedback form. And you can write us directly to us, you can reach out directly to us if you're really interested to translate the whole content in your regional language. In the second format of the boot camp, with help of our collaborators and our partner support, we will be coming upon with the offline boot camp also in your regional languages. So we'll be happy to do that with our collaborators and our partner support. So if we will be, if our partners will have that kind of plan, so we'll be surely interacting with you all locally as well. Like it will not gonna the virtual interaction, it will be the physical interaction as well. So yeah,
Uh,
so
with
please
that, I would just,
fill out the, yeah, yeah, Vivek,
yeah.
please.
With that, I have received two queries that I would like to answer.
Mhm.
The first one is, so those who will still submit the assignments after 2nd September, will they be eligible for participation certificate? Yes, they will be. But if you submit your assignments and everything after the end of September, then you won't receive your participation certificate. So you have to complete everything on the course to get your participation certificate and your badge. But after the September, you won't be able to get it. And of course, we will be explaining about this in the closing ceremony in detail. You can join that and we will be, of course, explaining it to you. Mrs. Okay,
I think
Mrs.
Emmy has
Nikita
asked.
Shah is asking how to connect phone to PictoBlox. Ma'am, well, Apple has made it easier for us to connect our iPhone to our MacBook. I might not be able to help to connect your Android, or if you're using Apple phone, that is good to go. But I might not be able to help you to connect your Android phone to your PictoBlox. But once you connect it with your computer as an external camera, all you have to do is go on PictoBlox and select it from the camera settings. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So once you are getting it connected with your system, then you can connect it with the PictoBlox with this ease. So the connection part, you have to look into it. The PictoBlox connection part, I can help.
Thank you so much for filling out the feedback form. This is something which is very essential for your attendance purpose and for us also to analyze your understanding level with us. I hope that you all are filling the feedback and even the attendance form very honestly, because this is something which is helping us to understand and to analyze your level of understanding. So fill out the both the forms very honestly.
Right. Just to answer one more question, that is by Laura. How to get the score to show up? Let me just show it to you. Just give you a brief example how you can do that. Yeah. Okay. So in the monkey sprite, or before the monkey sprite goes in a while loop, you can make a variable of score equals to 0, set it as 0 as of now. And every time the monkey is touching the apple, it will make a chomp sound. With that, you can make score, sorry, equals to score plus 1. And you can make the sprite dot say, sorry, score equals to plus str score for 1 second. That's it. That's it. So you can make it say the scores as well. So you see, you have to just brainstorm and then you will be able to check out and create something more innovative. Okay, so let's move to the teachers community. If you haven't joined our WhatsApp or Telegram groups for the latest updates of this bootcamp, you can do that by clicking on the link in the description box or by scanning the QR codes. With that, in the upcoming session that we will be having tomorrow, which will be the 9th session of this bootcamp, we will be introducing you to the ML environment of PictoBlox. And trust me, educators, this is something that will excite you the most. It is the best environment that is there. It is the one of the best functionalities of the PictoBlox that I personally love and adore the most. And of course, I cannot talk about the one which we will be releasing in the fall because it is still a secret, but you will be able to see it in the closing ceremony. Right, Ms. Shruti?
Yes, absolutely. We have a lot to, showcase in our closing ceremony as a surprise for all our educators. So I hope they will be joining us for listening the exciting news from us, and please stay tuned with us for the closing ceremony.
Yes. So thank you so much, educators, for joining in this session 8. I'm more than happy to have all of you, joining again and again in every session, which is motivating not just to me personally, but to my whole team, Miss Shruti ma'am and everyone, because this, seeing you putting a lot of efforts make us also feel proud that yes, our efforts were counted well and they were paid well as well. And don't worry, your efforts will be paid well too when we will be announcing about the prize and recognitions in the upcoming closing ceremony. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Shruti, and thank you so much to the African STEM queen, Miss Sally, for tuning in for this particular section. Thank you so much, everyone. Signing off, Bootcamp organization team. Thank you.
Thanks, Vivek. Thank you, all the educators. Thank you, Miss Sally. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.